Hey there, Capricorn. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your reading for the week of, let me look, September 20th to 26th, 2021. Shocking to me that we're in September already. It just feels like the year is flying by, just flying by. And, okay, I've had some, busyness and whatever, things like that, things that have kept the time occupied, and things that I've enjoyed so much doing, but still, time just seems to be flying. Now, my dad told me that one time, way back when, and he's right that, the older you get, the faster time goes. I'm finding that as well. So here we go. We've got the cards out. So your angels, your guardian angels, are here as a collective group, and they are offering the messages. So, when the cards come out and I see them and they give me the message. So the card is the trigger, and then the rest of it just comes flowing through. I don't I don't even think about what's they're telling me. I just open my mouth and it flows out. So it's certainly not anything that I'm creating or inventing or whatever. Now, sometimes they do tell me to draw upon my personal experiences and explain that, but it doesn't always happen that way. So anyway, okay, here is your reading. It's all out. Let me just have a look first. Okay, looks pretty good. Looks really good, actually. So it feels like you need a rest. Yeah, it feels like, you've been working hard, you've been doing lots, you've been this, you've been that, you've been, not only for yourself, but for your family, for your friends, for other people. It feels like, holy moly, like, have you had any downtime lately? It just feels really, you're tired, and yet at the same time, you're driven. You want to be doing those things. There's nothing that you want to say no to. You always want to say yes. But it's time. You need to focus a little bit more on yourself and on what you're feeling like. Whether you're tired, then you need some rest. If you just don't really want to be assisting at that time, then don't. Yes, people do depend upon you, but you need to depend upon you too. And you is more important than anybody else, right? So your inner self needs to know that you've got your back. Your inner self needs to know that when you get tired, you will take the time and rest. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting sick or, getting too run down, and then you catch whatever's going, all the colds and all the stuff. So you need to look after yourself. You need to have a rest, and you need to create or discover your boundaries around some of this. So some of this you're saying yes because you feel you should, or because somebody else wants you to, and those are the wrong reasons. If you're saying yes to something, it needs to be because it's something you believe in and that you want to do. Yes. Okay. All right. And so your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for. Beautiful. So, there's no need to worry, is what this is saying. That that you and your family are always looked after, especially when you're you're asking, because your guardian angels, every single person has them, including your children, no matter their ages, right? And so every single human has free will, and that means that their guardian angels cannot intervene unless they are asked. And so, and generally it's you that does the asking. I can say, oh, guardian angels of so-and-so, can you please go and protect them and make sure everything's working well and whatever. And they can do that to an extent, but it's your permission that is necessary for full intervention by your guardian angels, right? And so the same is true of your children. And if you, excuse me, and if you have grandchildren, or if you have, siblings and nieces and nephews and everybody else, right? So we can ask for healing, for everybody, anybody, and we can ask the guardian angels plus all the archangels to come and do the assisting, and they will do that. Now, depending who you are and who's asking, that's a limited fashion, whatever. Sorry, we went out of focus for a bit there. Anyway, but still, so the angels are all saying that they're protecting everybody, right? And so anything that's happening in somebody's world is part of their plan, right? It's part of their plan. Sometimes it doesn't feel good. Sometimes people have, learning experiences, and it maybe they even beat themselves up and say, oh, I should have listened, or I should have done this differently, or I should have done that. I made a mistake, whatever, right? It's all part of their plan. It's something that they enacted with their angels as part of their journey. And so it's not up to us to question that. It's only up to us to love. Yes. And please be aware that everybody is protected. Right? Okay. So, angels, which direction do you want these? Okay. So there's somewhere here, there's a project, there's something that you've got on the go that you're looking at, that you're investigating. And so Bridget here says that there's some caution warranted. It doesn't mean to stop. It just means be careful. Do all your due diligence. Dot your I's, cross your T's. Make sure that you're really looking into everything. Ask around to a bunch of other people what questions would they have if they were the ones doing it. That way you will compile all the questions, because everybody has a different point of view, right? And so, yeah, just make sure you're really, really checking into things. It doesn't mean no, but it may not mean yes, right? Yeah. So just check and see, like, what you would say, okay, well, that's all right, I can deal with that. Somebody else might say, no way, I am not handling that. And that's a deal breaker for me, right? So you go with what you know you can do or want to do. And just make sure that you know as much as possible before committing to it. Okay. All right. And then get ready for the big breakthrough. Woo. So, you are transforming so quickly right now. And there's things that you're learning, things that your gut knows, things that you're stepping into in terms of personal growth. And when your personal growth is going that fast and that amazingly, then the rest of your world follows suit, right? So, your circumstances have to change to keep up with your personal growth. They're just showing me, and this is a brand new thing to me. So they're showing me that somebody who changes their job often, we tend to think of those people as unable to stick, or that they're restless and they're always going to be moving on and things like that. And we tend to think of that as not as desirable. Or at least my generation does. Maybe the younger people do not think that, is what they're telling me. Anyway, when somebody is doing that, they move from one project or job or house or whatever, one to the next, to the next, to the next. It's an indication, they're telling me right now, it's an indication that their personal growth is just through the roof. And they're growing so fast that their circumstances around them have to scramble to keep up. And that is so cool to me. Yeah, that's really a really awesome perspective to have when you're observing somebody who's doing that. Now, okay, and they're also saying, like, this doesn't have to be just changing a job or whatever. It doesn't mean, if somebody's still in the same job after 10 years or 15 or 30 years, it doesn't mean they're not growing. It just means that it's not as obvious to people looking in from the outside. That for them, their personal growth may be not indicated at all by their job, or within their job, they are growing by leaps and bounds. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're not. Please don't think that the angels are like, no, that's not what we meant. They're just saying that the people who are moving like that, that's what they're doing, is growing. They're growing. They're learning so many different things by being in all those different situations. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So use your imagination. What do you want? What do you want? So when you use your imagination and you sit yourself into what you want your life to look like, what you want your job to look like, what you want, something or other to look like, then this transformation, then you are deciding what direction your personal transformation is going. You're the one who gets to create that, right? So when you sit with your imagination and you say, what does that look like? And how does it feel when I'm in that? Maybe you're picturing yourself sitting on the ground in a orchard. This is what they're showing me. Maybe you picture yourself sitting on the ground in an orchard and all these beautiful lush trees filled with amazing fruits. And it's just this amazing feeling of such abundance. And there are butterflies and there are birds and there are insects and there's a bit of a breeze through the trees and the leaves rustle. And, every now and then a ripe piece of fruit falls from the tree just for you. It's this amazing feeling of prosperity and peace and love. That's the feeling they're giving me. Like there's nowhere to leap up to go run to. There's nothing else to do right now except appreciate this. And so for some of you, this is what your imagination brings to you. I'm not sure. But they're just showing me that what you can potentially bring in your imagination. And remember to feel the feelings in it, because this is what you're creating. So make sure that what you're creating is what you truly want. Right. It's a huge lesson, especially these days when there's so much fear in the world and in the media and everywhere. If you want to create more of that fear, then go ahead and imagine what life could look like in a year. If you'd rather create something beautiful and for you, then focus on what you want. And when you do that, comes peace. Peace of mind, peace of life, peace of inner self. And it's something you can deliberately create. Okay. So let's have the daily guidance cards here now, and we'll see what's one last bit of wisdom that your angels want you to know. Go play. Be lighthearted. Let the negativity of the world be somewhere else. It doesn't have to be in your realm. Yes, just go play. Have fun. If you're not having fun, then don't do it. I know we always think as adults that we have to do the things we don't enjoy. I guess, to an extent, somebody's got to do the dishes, right? But still, take more time to play. You've not been doing that enough. Just have fun. Okay, so Capricorn, let's make some energy here and let's affect the world. Let's send this amazing high vibration energy out to the whole world, and let's surround the globe with this amazing stuff. It just uplifts everybody. Everybody, even if they don't realize that this is happening, then their vibration is raising as well. That's lovely. Thank you so much, Capricorn. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you, and I'll see you next week.